For all the people using classics quizzes, this will help you migrate all of your questions or question banks over to the new quizzes. So if you already have a bunch of quizzes created that you just want to migrate over, you can go ahead and keep listening, but later on I'm going to show you how to do just the individual quizzes. But here, if you have question banks that you want entire question banks to transfer over, here's the easiest way to do it. So we're going to add a quiz, and we're going to add a classics quiz because that's where we are starting. Notice I was in quizzes on the left here. I am going to name this Migrate because we are going to migrate questions, and I'm going to make sure it's not synced to PowerSchool. Before I click save, I'm going to come over here to questions, and then I want to find questions. When you click on find questions, it's going to take you to all of your question banks. So here's all my question banks that I have. And then I want to select all. I'm going to go down and make sure that all questions were selected. So I see that I clicked on view more there, and there were a few more that weren't selected. So I just go down and make sure those are all selected. And then I am going to click to add questions. And it's going to add each of these individual questions. So there should be 52, and each one was worth 1 point. So I have all 52 right there. You can scroll down from there if you want. I went back, and now I'm going to save it. So this is a quiz. So if I click over here on quizzes that I've created with all the questions from one question bank. So now this is an old classics quiz, and I'm going to migrate, and it's going to take a minute. So it's going to migrate all of those questions from that quiz that was a classics quiz, and it is going to make it into the new quizzes. This may take longer for some than others. So again, all 52 questions from this question bank I put into one quiz. This rocket ship right here, this outline of one, represents an old classics quiz. Here, this filled in rocket ship shows you that this is in the new quizzes. And here it's the same name, but this is a new quizzes. There's 52 points telling me there's 52 questions. So when I click on the title and then scroll down to the bottom, it's already saved, this build, that's going to take you in to show you all of the questions. It's a good idea to check the questions to make sure they all migrated over correctly. So here is the question, here is the answer. You have the edits that you can do. So these have all been transferred over into the quiz. Now we have to put them in what's called an item bank, which was question banks in old quizzes or classic quizzes. In the new quizzes here, they are called item banks. So I'm going to click on the edit, and this is a little bit of the legwork that we have to do. I'm going to click item bank, and I'm going to click add to item bank. If you don't have existing item banks, you can create a new one, add, and it has added this question to that item bank. And now if you want to edit the question, you will edit it in the item bank. And then you will have to do this with all your questions, unfortunately. But click add item or item banking, add to bank, existing lots. I went to testing, add, and now that I start adding these, done. That was the one I just added. Here I'll add a new one. So since I just used that last bank, it's going to save this for the rest of them. So I can click add and add those in quickly. And so here are your item banks if you want to add questions to the item banks. And these are what were previously known as question banks. They're now called item banks in the new quizzes. And here are the questions that I have added so far. And then you keep going through the rest of however many questions you want if you want to save those into an item bank.